Oh, yes, are we live? Sounds like it. What's up, everyone? What up? Happy Monday. A snowy Monday out here on the East Coast. It's late. 1 p.m. But what's up, everyone? What's good? What's good? What's good? Gotta rock that intro music for a second. You know what I mean? Yeah. What up, dude? Keep it ripping. Oh, what's up, fellas? Yeah, what's up, man? What's up, everyone? Welcome. Welcome to this fine Monday edition. BS with Hannas, back on the horse, kind of, sort of. Yeah, it's a Monday, dude. Usually the premise, I'll wake up and take a walk and read and talk and go lift weights, and it's all fucked up because it's a snow day. The East Coast got smacked up by some more snow. Hopefully it's winter's last breath. 'Cause I'm sick of this shit. I like the snow when it's the first day of it. You know what I mean? But I got up and shoveled the driveway out and did some reading and fucking crushed a garage workout, hundreds of body squats, a couple hundred push-ups, probably close to 100 burpees, little plank action, some body weight shit, body weight, high rep. Because I mean, the roads and shit are cool, but the bosses decide to close today, so all right, let's take advantage of it. Let's take advantage of it and fucking get a little bit ahead of my own things that I'm doing, dude. I found an old jump rope. EMP, you'll like this. Neo left a jump rope in the garage. So, dude, jump roping is a bitch. When I'm so used to just throwing weight around, and I'm strong-ish, compared to the average motherfucker on the street. Like I'm strong as fuck, I think, compared to like laborers and car mechanics, not so strong. Compared to gym dudes, I'm thoroughly like in that middle, probably the upper tier of the middle class, but humbling sometimes doing body weight stuff. Very, very humbling, which means it's good and got to lean more into it. When I start doing burpees, I like the prison workouts. I was doing them a bunch back in December or so. Once I start like just banging out sets of burpees, I get to 10 burpees and I'm like fucking sets of 20 is like I'm digging deep, hitting a set of 20 burpees straight in a row. But once I get in that flow, I'm just comfortable. So I'll get down and do like 5 push-ups, jump up, get down, do 3, jump up, kind of have fun with it. But yeah, I found a jump rope. And if I think burpees are humbling, because it's just kind of awkward, not what I'm used to, dude, I pick up that jump rope and I start trying to jump some rope. That's how boxers train. That's how real athletes, that's how actually athletic people, not gym douches like myself. I'm like, damn, dude, I'll get like 1 or 2 jumps in and it gets caught up on my feet. I feel like an idiot. Then I'll catch the flow. I'll get to like 20, 30, 32, and then I'll fuck up on the 34th. And I'm like, you suck. You can't even jump rope. Children jump rope. When was the last time I jumped rope? Last time I had a burst of ingenuity and wanted to try and do something different, which sometimes will only last a day or two. Every now and then I'm like, yeah, it's like when I try to run. I'll go like 2 days and I'll be like, you know what? Let me throw a little bit of jogging. Let me throw a little bit of jogging into my usual walking routine. I'll do it for a couple days and be like, nah, fuck that, which is a character flaw of mine. Jump rope's gnarly if you're not tuned in for them. Dude, it's sick. I mean, I'm super setting sets of 10 to 15 burpees and then as many jump ropes as I can. And if I got under 20, I'm considering every jump like 1 rep just because that's how my brain is working. And if I got under 20, I'm like, I gotta go again. And there are times, dude, where I'll hit like I can't even get 2 or 3 in a row because I'm just big and clumsy and stupid. And I like it enrages me. I'm like cursing at the jump rope, calling it a pussy. I'm like, come on, motherfucker, work for me. Throwing it on the ground and shit. But then hit the ground and just keep doing reps. It was sick. It's a nice change of pace. Just like having a Monday off because of the snow is a nice change of pace. So let's do some good stuff all day, which includes coming out here to cast. You know, I got to make sure I don't spend my day just in a state of sloth because that's real easy on the snow days. It's real easy on the snow days just to be like, you know what, man? Like I got that part of me. These are the days when I want like 3 frozen pizzas, whole bag of chips, a whole fucking cake. Like, I want that shit. That's in me. That's further away from me than it used to be, but, like, my move, especially when I was drinking and getting high. A snow day, forget about it. I better have a whole case of beer, bottle of liquor, big sack of weed, you know? And I would do cool things. Well, some of this stuff I do, like the cool stuff that I still do, I would still do back then. I would just do it all fucked up. We'll get all fucked up and go take a walk in the woods, in the snowy woods. And in some ways, it's funny because I guess that's just me. Like I like going on walks and just thinking, being alone with the self, a little state of isolation, some music. That's when I do a lot of planning and plotting and writing. Like I said, I like to walk and ponder. And obviously, what I ponder on and what I dwell on and visualize on, that changes a little bit in a state of sobriety. But even back then, I'd go in the woods and just sit and like contemplate the black metal aesthetic, the winter aesthetic, the moody kind of creative side, the somberness. There's an epic scope to just fucking massive snow. And it's really pretty. Pennsylvania's a beautiful state. So when you can isolate the landscape and it's just trees and forests and shrubbery, it's just, and the snow is fresh, so it's not falling on it. Sometimes it's frozen, it's not dripping. It's after a day, it turns into slush and just bullshit, just industrial waste, and it becomes fucking a nuisance. And I dislike it then. But when it's fresh, it's like, damn, that's the work of God, dude. That's the original, the almighty artist. His stroke is strong right now. I love that stuff, man. But instead of just being lazy and fucking off all day today, let's do some good stuff. So what's up, everyone? What's going on? How you guys doing? What's happening with all y'all out there? I got EMP in the chat. Jess is in the chat. Smiles is in the chat. Yeah, you guys are real ones, dude. Let me see my notes. Do I got anything cool in my notes? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. No snow in Pittsburgh. Yeah, far away. East Coast got fucking smacked. Apparently Jersey was really fucked up too. Apparently Boston got smoked. It's to be expected. But like I said, I mean, it's supposed to be like 50 degrees out here this weekend. Come on, bring on the spring, dude. I need that. I need that revitalization. I love when that spring air comes rolling in. The rebirth. Like, I'm just waiting for it, dude. I'm better now at just kind of suffering through the winter. I used to get in a lower form of myself. I used to get real, the propensity that I have to get all moody and depressed and like retreat inwards in a negative sense. I still have it. It's more mature now. It's less uh like, I don't know how the fuck to say it. Less of a bitch mode, but it still rises its ugly fucking head every now and then. But I used to get real fucked up from it. But now I'm just like, come on, I want to be fucking excited again. And it's something dumb like that. Like, men are supposed to operate, just fucking do what needs to be done. I believe in that. You got to do what you got to do. Conditions don't matter. If you're conditional, then you're conditional. And that makes you a bitch. It makes you soft. But conditions, it changes the nature of it. You're playing a fucking football game in the snow versus a clear weather. If there's wind on the baseball field, like that thing matters. That all matters, dude. So bring on the rainy fucking ascension to warm weather. I need it. I need it. Things get fun again. More sunlight. It's not just misery that you have to fight. That's fine. It is what it is. There's plenty of misery out here anyway. I was watching the news too much yesterday because fucking Mexico is going nuts. So we'll see what's happening south of the border, eh? We'll see what's going on down there. EMP said, easy work from home. Yup. Yeah, you got that gym, that apartment gym. That's what's up. Yeah, fucking crush it, dude. That's good. I got to take my walk later on. But yeah, I was watching the news too much yesterday and fucking Mexico's going nuts. Everyone's just waiting for fucking bombs to drop in the Middle East. What else is fucking going on out there? Everyone loves the Olympics all of a sudden. I was at the gym the other day. On my days off, I like to go to the Planet Fitness just because it's closer than my regular gym. And, there's something to be said about just blending into the sea of people. It's not a nice change of scenery. It's not all just the old heads and the people I see every day in the fucking town center I work in every day. So I'm like, let me just go here. Just keep it low key. And I'm just banging out like hamstring curl reps or something. And I hear just the whole gym just erupt because USA hockey is a big deal. So, USA, USA. I love it. But it's like, man, you motherfuckers don't watch hockey the rest of the year. Am I a hater right now? All of a sudden, we got to watch hockey because it's the in thing. Everyone all of a sudden loves the figure skating because of that one girl that fucking crushed. I think it's good. I think it's good for everyone. I don't care about the Olympics. I don't care if it's summer. I don't care if it's winter. I don't care if it's here. I don't care if it's there. It just means nothing to me, especially because it's fucking goofy, especially the Winter Olympics. They got that curling, Olympic level curling. Oh man, I when I see crowds of people watch the screen and they're like, "Oh, look at the curling," ah, it just like triggers me for no reason. I know it's like a hater thing. I should just mind my own business and let the fools enjoy their foolish things. But I'm like, how is this a fucking Olympian sport? I thought being an Olympian is like a high level of prestige. You're a world class athlete. You guys are playing like shuffleboard on ice. It seems like a few steps removed from a bar sport. Is there Olympic shuffleboard? Is there Olympic level pool? How about Olympic level chess? They just don't. All those things are, there's merit. I don't hate sports. I'm not a sports ball kind of dude. I'm mostly indifferent, casual at best. But like you start throwing those kinds of things in the Olympics, I don't know. I think it almost cheapens like the real actual sports. Olympic hockey, world class, hockey or fucking baseball or whatever. I guess there's an argument to be made for that too. Olympic level American football. Like that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't know. Olympic weightlifting makes sense. I seen like some kind of weird Olympic level ski sharpshooting or something. I don't know. It just struck me as bizarre. It struck me as bizarre, but what do I know? I'm not athletic. I can barely fucking jump rope. So don't listen to me. Don't listen to me on that shit, you know? So it's a funny contrast to me. On one hand, everyone's loving the USA. Here come all the AI generated images of, the most American as fuck imagery you can come up with. Here's Ben Franklin all USA'd out with the USA shades and the USA bandana and, a big AR-15 in one hand and a hockey puck in the other saying, suck it, Canada, DX in this motherfucker. I like that. I like that spirit. That's some Americanism. That's some patriotism that we all need. And shit, I guess I should shut the fuck up because if it takes hockey to do that, just to rub it in fucking commie Justin Trudeau's face, yeah, I'm not mad at that on some level. That's good. That's good for morale. And God damn it, we need morale. We need morale. When our Latino brothers are engaged in fucking narco terrorism down south and they're crying and licking their wounds up north, I don't know. Now I'm looking at us and it's like, fuck, man. I'm so sick of everything being fucked up. Which is the eternal question. That's the eternal question I contemplate around here. What the fuck do we do about it? What is there to be done about it? On the smallest sense. So, which leads me back to what I'm saying today. Let me not just rot around. What do they call it now? What's the term? Bed rotting, couch rotting, consuming the slop. I'm gonna try not to do that today. Which means coming out here and talking some shit. That's important to me. I don't always feel like doing it, but I always enjoy it when I start. Once I get out here, I always enjoy it. The fucking garage workout, get a little stronger, learn a little bit, get a little bit better, incrementally better every day at whatever it is I may or may not do. If I'm getting better, moving that fucking needle, the day's a win. You know what I mean? I'll probably play some guitar. I got some songs to write. Bunch of cool creative projects going on in my world right now. So means I got to keep that iron hot. Keep that fucking iron hot. I might fuck around and play some drums later today, just because I never get a chance to just bang away on the drum kit. That's a good way to spend some time. Yeah, man. So that's what's going on with me. I finished my one book that I was reading. What was it? The Magic of Thinking Big by Mr. David Schwartz. The one couple things that really stuck with me from it, the idea, and I needed this because this past week I've been a bitch. I wasn't putting my best self out here. You know, I missed a bunch of times, took a couple L's throughout the week, which is to the average person, if I'm concerned with the average motherfucker takes L's all day long, every day, and they're not even aware of it. They're just like a living, walking L. I don't think I'm that, so I'm doing all right. But just doing all right, that's the baseline. That's like the low level baseline, you know. The ideal baseline might be a stretch to constantly be reaching for the ideal, but the ideal baseline should just be constantly fucking crushing, just constantly chasing, constantly getting after it, unceasing, high thumos, high spirited activities, you know? So the big takeaway from this book is just another phrase and another person's flavor on just reaffirming that true principle, you know? Attitude, man. Think big, have a good attitude, and big things happen, good things happen. It's the mind creating the reality one lives in. Attitude is thought management. That's important. You know, we got to manage ourselves first and foremost, or I got no fucking what leg do I have to stand on criticizing Mexico, criticizing hockey players, or even criticizing Olympic curlers. I got, if I'm a triggered bitch all the time, if my disposition is shitty, I got no business commenting on nothing. That's the dude throwing stones while living in a glass house. Can't do it. Another big takeaway I had was a quote towards the end. It said, "Think big enough to see that defeat is a state of mind and nothing more. Mm. The defeated state of mind that creates the defeated individual." In the realm of metaphor, in the realm of the symbolic. There's a great argument that, sports replicates life. It replicates all those things that are so poignant. Is life a boxing match? There's a great argument for that. Is life a chess game? There's a fucking outstanding argument for that. Is life the bench press? In many ways, it certainly is. Is life a squat rack? Fuck yeah. So get under the weight. That's all true shit. That's all true shit. And if you're defeated, if you're going to try and squat some heavy ass weight with a defeated mentality, telling yourself, I can't do it, it's too heavy, I got no business being under here, you're going to fucking trip up and suck. And then you become a bad American. And by being a bad American, I mean being a bitch. Can't do it. Got to reject it. And then the other note that I really like from this book, too, it involves the idea of spirit. And I love things that involve the idea of spirit, thumos. Thumos being defined as the spiritedness in one's endeavor, which I look at as the energy, intentionality, mind muscle connection, so to speak, really putting your fucking soul essence into the task at hand, a high thumos state. Spirit, the spiritedness of a thing. David Schwartz, he implores you. This is his advice. He says, don't wait for the spirit to move you to action. Use your action to move your spirit. And that's fucking money. All these great quotes, all these great things. There's so many of them out there. The trick for me is to get over my own bullshit and remember them. Maybe I've just read too much. Maybe I've just listened too much. Maybe I've just consumed so much of this stuff that it becomes cheap and a dime a dozen. It's just another cliche for the same thing. Maybe. But man, sometimes when these things hit and they fucking resonate, it's just like, poof, it's fucking just power. Don't wait for the spirit to move you. You got to move yourself into the spirit. There's wisdom there. There's wisdom there that I'm inclined to share with my people out here. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that goes back to that dichotomy, inside world, outside world. What's going on? What are we doing with ourselves to better our lot in life, to better our disposition? What's the purpose of life? Is the purpose of life just to eat, mate, feed, kill, repeat, consume, consume, consume? Is the purpose of life only to replicate more life? There's all types of different opinions on this matter. Is the purpose of life just to enjoy life? Well, I guess at the end of the day, it's kind of what we make of it, right? That's in the words of Nas. Life is what you make it. That's Nas and DMX, by the way. That song bangs. It's a classic hip hop track. So what do we make of it? What's the fucking point? I guess to enjoy it. That's a possible point. That's a possible good baseline. What's the purpose of doing things every day? If we got vampires fucking running the world, which we do. There's vampires running the world, cartel wars. We're fucking arresting. We're not arresting shit. The American government ain't arresting fucking nobody, except for fucking guys halfway across the world, apparently. But over in Britain, they just arrested the prince, well, I forget his fucking name, one of the royals, one of the king's people, bunch of fucking there's just scumbags and traitors and fucking deerlecks and evil people, vampires and cultists and evil motherfuckers running the world, you know, completely just it's all fucked up, which is the contrast. And then the big news on Sunday. So on one hand, we got everybody cheering on the American Olympic hockey team. And then on the other hand, here's everyone spiraling. There's a guy that was arrested trying to break into Mar-a-Lago with a shotgun. Rah, 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 rah. Well, that ain't fucking right. If his presumed target is his presumed target, like, and then here's where all the talking heads on the internet, they're like, is this it? Really? So this is what we're dealing with? Use your Ben Shapiro voice. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at. This is the state of things. And it's a fucked up place to be, man. It bothers me. It fucking bothers me, man. What do we do with it? What do we do with it as we tend to ourselves in our own, you know, personal gardens? I guess that segues me into the new book I'm reading, which I've been seeing around more and more recently. It's called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Sinek? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Simon Sinek. Sinek. Start with why. Start simple. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. That's an old acronym. Why do we do what we do? You know, fuck what you do. Fuck how you do it. Start with why. And when I think about that, I'm only a little bit into it. I just basically started the book, maybe 20, 30, 40 pages in. And it's a business book. It's a, personal development book. So it lies within the conventions of that genre. There's the obligatory assessing Apple in terms of being a groundbreaking company. There's the typical, looking at the rise and fall of GM, the 2008 market crash and bailouts, and so on and so forth. But it's reducing all that minutia into like the simple, basic principles. So start with why. Why is it we're doing any of this shit that we're doing? And that's like hard for some people to answer, especially when it comes into a business. When you put that into like a business sense, I don't know. Why would you open a business? I want to open a business. I want my shit to be more legit. I want this to be a media company where I can produce media and propagate media and sell products related to the media. But like, why? Just to make money? Why do people go into business? Just to make money. Duh. You know, why are we running this burger joint? Just to make money. All right, well that works. But that opens the door to like all the counter arguments and higher level kind of nuanced thinking. And that's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm trying to me personally, can't speak for no one else, can't speak for none of y'all out there, but maybe you feel what I'm saying, you know? It's like, why am I out here on the internet talking shit at 1:30 on a Monday? For what reason? I got to think about that, you know? And even in thinking about that for me, it's like you kind of there's a certain level of humility that you really need, but also a certain level of just like arrogance, because otherwise it's a trap. The most basic answer, if I were to ask that question to myself, yo, B. Hannas, why are you out here talking shit on the internet with sunglasses on your face, you fucking goofball? I got something to say, I think. You think? What do you mean you think? Why are you going to say something if you only think it's worth saying? You should know for sure it's worth saying. All right, well, there's a few things that I know for sure are worth saying that my life and my life experience and reputation can back up. Would you like to hear those things? You guys know those things, Get off your ass and work every day to get a little bit better. Get in the gym and fucking move some weight around. Go walk and ponder and think. Read some good stuff. Get off the sauce. Stop getting high. Stop drinking. Don't be a distracted bitch. Don't be fucking so into the events of things you can't control that you fucking play yourself and then you end up like a loser. I would know because I did all those things for a long time to no merit, just hard one experience that now I'm trying to make sense out of. That's why I'm coming out here and talking some shit on the internet on one level, on another level. Why am I out here talking shit on the internet? Let's just say, well, I spent 20 years of my life making myself into a musician and writing what I think is badass music and playing from my heart, playing from my soul, playing from my balls and putting it out there. I got no fear when I can hide behind an electric guitar and just hide behind the riff and the distortion in a loud motherfucking Marshall amplifier and squeeze the shit out of a Fender Stratocaster. I got no fear. That makes me that I'm ascended in those moments, in that pure, just electrified fucking flow state. I'm not my anxieties. I'm not my own negative self talk. I'm something different. I'm the fucking man. And I've been doing that for 20 years. So, how can I, as a learning experience for me, as a creative individual, let's just say, how can I turn that into something of use for maybe other people? And selfishly, how can I use that to pivot into this and just be a wide ranged something of a fucking brutish renaissance man of sorts? Renaissance man. No way. Everyone on the internet has a microphone. Another bald guy with a podcast. Fair enough. Fair enough. But you know what? Fuck it. Let me just do it anyway. Why am I out here talking shit on the internet? Because I've always wanted to. Simple as that. But it's not even fun to do that shit on Instagram or on Facebook. And to be honest, like, I don't hate my neighbor. I generally regard my neighbors, my metaphorical neighbors, pretty well. But like, I'm not doing shit for clicks or likes or to be popular or to say the right thing. I don't give a fuck what half my Instagram followers would think about what I have to say. Anything good I have to say, might be missed too. That fucking goofy social media judgmental, like, I don't, if I'm aiming for a business, let's just say, let's just jump over my local scene. There's a big wide world out here, you know? In 10th grade, my math teacher, shout out to Richard, EMP, you remember our math teacher back then. It's funny as shit to me, but what was the big book that he would have us read every week? He would take like like every Friday, we wouldn't even do mathematics. We would just read from this book, and it was called The World is Flat. Now, he was not a flat earther, I don't believe, even though, the world is flat, motherfucker. This fucker is flat. I digress. The old premise of that was like, this is back in 2007, 2008. It was pointing towards the trends in global commerce, the globalization of the world. He was doing his part. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, 10th grade math teacher. He was doing his part to be like, listen, young kids, like, this ain't what your parents probably told you it is. This is a new, emergent, completely different world. So maybe I'm trying to put you on some game. Now it's a Friday and it's math class, and none of y'all like me anyway, so I know no one's paying attention, but maybe you'll remember that. So I kind of remember that. And like, if I want to aim for more than just, the few miles within the radius of where I live, if I want to aim for more than what is in my immediate vision, fuck it. That's why I'm on the internet talking shit. How's that? Is that fair or is that not fair? Do I care? Not really. More importantly, it was just something I felt called to do. So now I get an excuse to fucking hang out here with some sunglasses on my head, Old Glory behind me, my own flag behind me, shamelessly promote my shit a little bit, mostly just improvise. And I'll tell you this, a big why too is just to see if I could do it. And I'm like over 100 episodes of this podcast in the past year. That was a pipe dream 2 years ago. So even when I struggle and get beat up and fucking down on myself or what the fuck ever, that negative self, all that bullshit, that's just the enemy. That's the enemy convincing me that I ain't shit. But once I'm fucking balls deep in burpees, shit, when I'm fucking strapped up with a Stratocaster on stage, there ain't no enemy voice telling me I ain't shit. Fuck that. The devil flees before the righteous. So that's why I'm out here. Doing my part, hopefully, to try and propagate fucking righteousness. With too many F-bombs, I know. Maddie, when you come in the chat and you listen, I'm sorry, dude. I'd like to say I'm trying to be better, but that's the nature of the improv. I just fucking flow with it. And sometimes it pans out well. So maybe that was a useful, helpful, enlightening, enjoyable, comedic, whatever kind of tirade, but that's what I got. That's what I got on this fine Monday. Almost 30 minutes. Yeah, man. And that's also kind of a cool thing, too. I'm not really afraid of talking. I'm not really afraid of talking. I might feel a little weird if I were to send just the average person that I just happen to know, here's my YouTube channel. Check me out. I got to get over that shit. But, at least I know at this point, what I'd like to think at this point is at least if I just got a rando, yo, check my shit out. You might enjoy it. I can do that shamelessly with my music. Can I do that shamelessly with my opinions and my thoughts and my actual, like, things that I think? I don't know. That's an interesting thing, and that's something we should all work on. So that's what I'm thinking about today. You know what I mean? Happy Monday, everybody. Stay warm, do righteous things, kick ass, crush. I think that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out on this fine Monday episode, BS with B Hannas here on YouTube at BS with B Hannas. I'm going to send it out to Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, so on and so forth. You want some music, some heavy blues metal? NikkiBHannas.com, NikkiBHannas.bandcamp.com, Nikki B. Hannas on all streaming services. You want to support the mission, see everything I do when I'm actually attentive and posting on the Patreon, hit that shit up. Patreon.com/Nikki B. Hannas. Happy Monday. Keep it real. One love.